What is going on, fellow MTB shredders? Today, I'm actually doing something a little bit different. We're not going to be out riding my backyard mountain bike trail, or riding any trails actually. I'm going to be showing y'all how to change a flat tire. So this is going to be a real quick and basic tutorial. I'm going to be showing y'all how to fix or change a tube on my Trek Marlin 7 hardtail. The front tube's flat, and also my back tube on my BMX, Diamondback BMX, that I got in the last video. I'll have a link down in the description below, is also flat, and we're going to switch them both, or put new tubes in them. So, on my Trek Marlin 7, you can see that I have a quick release right here. So basically what that means is to get the tire off, all I have to do is pop this lever off, and now I can just pop the tire, the whole wheel out. And I'm going to start with that one, show you how to change a tube on that. But if your wheel looks more like this, it's got a bolt holding the wheel on, I will also show you how to do that in just a minute. So, starting with the quick release axle, I'm going to go ahead and change out this tube. And the first thing you want to do is get the wheel off the bike. You're not going to be able to switch the tube out while it's on here. So I just got to pop this undone, loosen it up a bit, and then pop this off. There we go. You want to make sure you set this down on something soft too. Don't set it down on concrete. It'll scratch up the lower, so just make sure you set that down on something soft. And now we've got our tire and wheel and everything off. So the next thing you're going to want to do is unscrew your valve cap. In this case, I actually have a press the valve with the Schrader adapter on it. But get all that off, and then if you have this little ring, I don't know how y'all can see that, this little thing that kind of sucks it tight up to the rim, the valve, go ahead and get that off. There we go. So now you want to get, normally even if it's a flat tube, there's still going to be some airlift in it, as you can see here. There's still a little bit of airlift in it, and what you want to do now is get all the air out. So for press the valve like this is, to get the rest of the air out, I can just hold that down or twist it to the side, and it'll slowly let all the air out. For a Schrader, you can also just put like a screwdriver or something inside the Schrader valve and press down that little nozzle, and it'll also let air out. But either way, you just want to get your air out. Okay, so the next tip is going to be to take your tire off. When you take your tire off, you're basically going to kind of pop it back, because there's a bead that sits in the rim, and that's what keeps the tire from just falling off while you're riding. So you got to kind of snap the bead out, which can be a little hard. But with some brute force, you can get it out. There I go. You can see that red now on the rim. I just popped the bead out. So now just kind of work your way down one side of the whole tire. Okay, so the whole bead's out on this side. So now you just want to repeat that to the other side. Get the bead out. The bead loose around the whole rim. So now you're just going to want to get your tire all the way off the rim, which you can use a tire lever for, but I just like to kind of muscle it off. There we go. And just like that, you got the tire and the old tube off. There's a leak. Now we got a rim. Set this somewhere it's not going to get scratched or messed up. So, next part's pretty self-explanatory. Pull out your old tube. I would recommend keeping your old tube, because there's actually a lot of cool bike hacks and things you can do with an old. A Sprite can just attacked. But there's a lot of cool like hacks and stuff that you can do with old inner tubes, like making a chainstay protector. Burn Peak, one of my favorite mountain biking channels, has done a lot of cool hacks with old inner tubes. I'll have his channel link down in the description below. But, so now we ditched that, and you got your tire. So typically, you can reuse the tire. So obviously, you may know how you popped your tire, you may not know. A lot of times you can know. I've popped tubes on cactuses, I've popped tubes on old screws. That's how I popped this one. Riding on my backyard, I forgot to clean up some screws and I popped one. But you can typically reuse the tire, because if a screw goes through the tire, it's going to pop the inner tube, but as long as it doesn't make a big enough hole or anything in the actual tire, you can reuse it. But you want to do a thorough check in the tire and make sure that that screw or cactus needle or anything sharp isn't still in the tire, because then once you fill up your new tube, it's just going to pop it right again. So do a thorough inspection. Okay, we're good. So now I'm going to grab my new tube. Okay, so I got my new tube, 27.5. Press the valve, and I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And then I'm going to grab the press the valve cap and that little ring and get both those off. Now I got my rim again, and I'm going to insert the press valve. Whether you have a pressed or straighter valve, you want to do the same thing. Put it back through the hole, and then go ahead and stretch out the inner tube over. Inner tubes always look ridiculously big when you first get them and first put them around the rim, but trust me, whenever you fill them up with air, they'll fit snug. There are different inner tube sizes and stuff, so you want to make sure you get the right inner tube size when you reorder them. Obviously, the main concern is the length. You can't get a 26-inch tube for a 27.5, but you also got to focus on the width range. So, for instance, these tires are 27.5s by 2.2s, and this is a 27.5 by 2.10 to 2.3 tube. So it's gonna fit good. So we get this around. Okay, so now that we got this on, I'm gonna go ahead and put my Schrader adapter back on. I don't have a press to pump, so I use a Schrader adapter. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fill up the tube with a little bit of air, actually, just to make it it's gonna make it a little bit easier putting the tire back on. There we go, just a little bit of air, it's good. Keeps it on there. Now we gotta put the tire back on. So, we put the tire back on. As dumb as this may sound, make sure that you have the tread facing the right way. Last time I fixed the flat, I put the tread backwards, and it just messed up the vibe. So, I'm gonna make sure we got the tread going the right way. Okay, so now we are going to just generally kind of put the tire back around the tube. This is a little hard, but possible. So now you want to get the bead back in, which is kind of hard, but once again, possible. And you just got to kind of work your way around. This can take even a few tries around the rim, but eventually you'll get it. Okay, there the bead is around on this side. Now we got to kind of fix up this side a bit. Okay, we almost got the bead all the way around. There we go. Got the bead all the way around. So now we can fully fill up the tube. So then you can start inflating it, and you'll notice that the tire will start to spread out as you get air in it, and kind of snap the beads back into place in the rim. Okay, there we go. Got my new tube filled there. Gonna put the cap back on, and now we can reinsert our tire and wheel back. Okay, make sure the disc brake isn't rubbing. And we'll reinstall them. There we go, you guys. So now I'm gonna real quick show y'all how to fix a flat, not even really fix it, y'all know how to fix it now, but how to get a wheel off that does not have the quick release. So now for taking off your wheel to replace a tube, if you do not have a quick release, you need some wrenches. Really simple, just get your wrench to the right size, loosen it up on both sides, so then you can pop this off. Problem is, I got the chain, so I'm actually going to have to pop the chain off of that. There we go. Now we can pop the tube off and just kind of squeeze it around and get the brakes off. There we go. Now I'm going to repeat the process and get a new tube in this guy.
Strong, every breath hold, cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold, cause I can't move on till I let go.